I've come to accept the fact that we now live in a world where reboots and new chapters being added to established franchises are now the go-to for Hollywood. The crutch and perceived safety of going with, what may seem familiar to the audience seems to be kind of the new norm. And if done correctly, I'm all here for it, but I do reserve the right to be more critical based upon the subject matter. My only request I had going into the Predator prequel was that they make it align with the established lore and tell an interesting story. Overall, I think Hulu understood the assignment, but I do have a few notes. Let's talk about
it. Follow me, follow me, let's go.
Let's go.
To the
Welcome back, family, to my media couch. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, share this video so we can continue to grow the community and all the discussions around entertainment and pop culture. Let's go ahead and dive on in. Prey is the latest chapter in the Predator franchise that explores some of the species' initial experiences when hunting humans here on Earth. It was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, hopefully I said your name correctly, and has Amber Midthunder as the focal point of the story. More on that, because I do want to go through some of the things that I like and some of the things that I feel could have been done a little bit better. Now, as a fan of the Predator franchise, for many years, I've enjoyed how Hollywood kind of continues to create different perspectives on this timeless sport hunter that we have. We keep getting more details around how this hunter came to intersect with humans and the lengths it's going to go to establish dominance within any environment it's going to be a part of. This is the first time, though, that we really got a chance to see the story of one of the initial visits to Earth. And I say one of because in previous Predators, they established that they went back even further in terms of showing them how to build and do some other things. But I'll dive into that a little bit more. But I think that this is kind of the first time we've seen the story of one of the initial visits to Earth and how bows and arrows and early weapons would match up against advanced alien technology. It was kind of cool to see. Very beautiful film to look at. The cinematography is very pleasing to the eye. The shots that they set up truly captured the feeling of being inside of the Comanche tribe's point of view. The casting, makeup, and even the costumes made everything feel very authentic for what I call this sci-fi period piece. One of the things that I really like about this film's approach is its focus on the circle of life as it relates to predators. There are a variety of different scenes where you see the predators pursuing their prey only to become prey themselves to an either bigger, stronger predator. This was, I feel, masterfully delivered and really provided a lot of nuance around the overall theme that they were trying to portray around being a predator. But this particular story really follows a young Comanche woman who's looking to make her mark as a hunter within her tribe, similar to her brother and some of the other young men in the tribe as well. But as a woman, she's experiencing some challenges. As a woman, she's expected to stay in her lane and kind of leave the hunting and gathering to the men, but she obviously has zero intention of just doing that. She has no intention of just cooking and providing medicine, which seems to be some of the things she's very good at. But she begins to venture out to prepare for the challenge of providing herself, or I should say, proving herself worthy to be looked at as an experienced and respected hunter. So she comes across some different tracks while she's out and about kind of training that look a lot bigger than a bear. And she suspects that something else is in the forest with them, hunting them or hunting alongside them. So she begins to pursue whatever made the tracks. And simultaneously, she begins the process or starts the process of being pursued herself. So what I did really like about this film is in the past, when we've seen different predators, the predator pretty much hunted down anything that crossed its path. And in this film, they switched it up a little bit, and I did like that. In this film, the hunter really only pursued other predators who were currently running down their prey. And it was clear that it only wanted to be looked at as the dominant predator in that space. So if you didn't hunt it or weren't being aggressive towards it or trying to kill something else at that time, it wouldn't kill you. It would walk right past you. And I thought that was kind of different than some of the other films, whereas if you came across it, more than likely it was going to be a problem. And especially if you were being aggressive, it was definitely a problem. So I like that they kind of put that different spin on it. I also like that they had limited dialogue with this one. And let me kind of explain what I mean by that. That the characters were there and we did understand what was going on, but it wasn't a whole lot of talking. It wasn't a whole lot of overdubbing. It wasn't a whole lot of just useless conversations in terms of that. And I felt like they used a lot of what was going on in the movie to show you what the characters were doing and how they felt. And to me, that approach made it feel more primal and more real in terms of the time period that they were in. So I thought that was really a good approach as well. I like that. Some of the things I did not like as much. I did not think that the CGI was that great. I thought the CGI could be a lot better. In previous Predator films, we were used to kind of seeing the weapons and the close-ups up on the hunter, and I didn't feel like we got enough of that with this one. The CGI in the Alien, it was okay. It wasn't. I thought other iterations were a lot better. There could have been a bigger emphasis on showing more of the earlier weapons, so we could really see the differences between some of what we know and see and some of what that particular this particular iteration of the Alien was doing. So I also feel that they could have just did more with the hunter in terms of the CGI and what they did. I feel like it looked out of place in comparison to how beautiful the sets were that they were working on. So that was just kind of that. But overall, I did like the film. I did think it was a different approach and a good fit within the overall franchise. And if they do decide to do more, I want them to really go back to kind of the first visit where they really, showed the humans how to build pyramids and stuff like we've seen in Alien versus Predator. I think that would be kind of interesting. But outside of a few areas, I thought that this was a pretty good film. I thought it was well done outside the areas that I mentioned there. So let me know what you thought of the film. Did you like it? Did you think it was a wasted time? Does it fit in the overall Predator universe? And if so, where about? Light up the comments. Let me know what you think. Definitely a good film to watch over the weekend or anytime you watch films. Appreciate you hanging out. Take care.